up, everyone? This is Tony with JRNYcrypto. This is going to be a quick crypto news and market update. We're going to be talking about the markets and where they could be headed. We're going to talk about the price of Bitcoin and volatility in the short term, as well as some other concepts like Bitcoin hitting $1 million. So before we get started, I do appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified when I make new crypto videos. Alright guys, so the cryptocurrency markets have been looking decent the past couple days. We are seeing a small recovery here, which is expected that we're bouncing around between around 33,000 to 40,000. So we're still in that cool off phase. A lot of people are pretty bullish though in general. So I'm definitely very bullish for end of year. I definitely think we're going to be rallying, and I do believe that will start picking up in the next month to 2 months, very possibly the next couple weeks if we do have some really good news, which could break at any time. Just as one person's tweets can manipulate the markets down, it only takes one big announcement to really make the markets surge as well. Something like Facebook acquiring a massive amount of Bitcoin, Apple starting to launch crypto services. Something huge like that shows massive demand coming to the space is definitely going to help get cryptocurrency out of this current rut and break out of that accumulation phase. So personally, I do believe we'll be in this accumulation phase a couple more weeks, possibly testing the low 30,000s for Bitcoin. If that does happen, I do believe it's going to be very brief. I'm going to set some limit orders for Bitcoin and some altcoins, Bitcoin in the low 30,000s, where I think altcoins would crash even more, as we have been seeing. Bitcoin just has more support in general. There's definitely institutions buying up Bitcoin during this accumulation phase. So it does appear we're still in this accumulation phase here. We did have a small recovery on Sunday. Everyone was expecting it to be a bloody Sunday and have another market crash to the low 30,000s or high 20,000s. So in this section here, we do have major resistance from around 38,000 to 40,000. If we can break out of that above 42,000, I do believe people are going to start FOMOing back in, especially with some major news. And we could easily break $50,000 again, and that could be what is needed to send us back into the steady rise to the end of 2021. So we do have major support here as well, around 30,000 to 33,000. We only briefly broke below 33,000 a couple times, and that instantly recovered. So we do have major support here. If we do break under this, that could be a bad sign as well, especially with something really bad. That could definitely make Bitcoin drop as low as 24 to 25,000, which a lot of people are calling for that as well. I do believe we are going to be staying in this zone though for a couple more weeks here, and possibly dropping into this resistance area a couple more times, where we do have Bitcoin in the low 30,000s where I'm looking to buy. So in the long term, I'm very bullish. As I have been saying, anything can happen in the short term. No technical analysis can predict breaking bad news or breaking good news. So we do have to keep that in mind. While technical analysis is good to know and look at and help us make decisions, it's also very important to be on top of the news and the fundamentals. I do think because crypto is such a new space, news and fundamentals is really what makes the cryptocurrencies move. But of course, technical analysis is going to help with this. So I'm interested to hear what you think about this. Where do you think Bitcoin is headed in the upcoming couple weeks? And if you're bullish or bearish on Bitcoin and crypto for end of 2021. So personally, I'm going to keep accumulating. I don't care if we drop into a bear market. I will keep accumulating through an entire another bear market. And I think that is a great mindset to have in the cryptocurrency space. Picking up deals in the last bear market is where I got the highest returns. And we pretty much have a guaranteed bull market every 4 years because of the Bitcoin halving and just how that lines up. So we do have some interesting news with India, going back and forth on India banning cryptocurrencies. So Indian central bank clarifies regulations as local banks shun crypto. Some people are taking this as good news because it confirms that Bitcoin is currently not banned. But I did see someone state in the comments on Twitter that doing transactions with Bitcoin and crypto is still banned in India. We did have Vitalik Buterin donate $1 billion worth of SHIB token to Indian COVID relief funds. So with these massive donations, it is possible that India reconsiders their stance on cryptocurrency. So in my opinion, any country that bans cryptocurrency is just shooting themselves in the foot in the long term. We have had both India and China going back and forth on this stance. So one of the fastest growing industries in the world, if they do ban cryptocurrency, I do believe eventually they're going to see what they're missing out on and lift the ban. So India has been going back and forth, China as well. We've heard news of both of these countries banning cryptocurrencies multiple times over the past few years, and every time it does cause a temporary dip. So we do have a lot of people discussing the possibility of Ethereum flipping Bitcoin in market cap for the first time ever in this current bull market. So I really don't think this is going to happen. Although Bitcoin has been losing market dominance slowly while Ethereum is only gaining, we do have a lot of Ethereum competitors doing major blockchain updates throughout the summer and end of year. So we do have smart contracts coming to Cardano, as well as the Goguen mainnet and the ERC20 token converter, all of these massive things, many partnerships, many projects launching on the Cardano blockchain. As we discussed previously, the Cardano ecosystem is growing rapidly. So I do believe that will take some of the market share away from Ethereum, which will make it much more difficult for it to flip in Bitcoin. And I do believe Bitcoin will be growing if it does follow the stock to flow model like we have discussed. The peak of this bull market should be somewhere in end of 2021. I do believe it's very possible. Things don't exactly repeat though, and we actually have the peak of this bull market at some point in 2022. So it really blows my mind how many people think we're crashing to below $20,000 Bitcoin and this current bull market is over. So days from the previous Bitcoin halving, we just had the third Bitcoin halving around 1 year ago. Comparing this to the second Bitcoin halving, we're currently in this dip, which actually lines up perfectly with the last Bitcoin halving dip around this time, before we actually broke all-time highs for Bitcoin and then climbed to that $20,000 Bitcoin peak end of 2017. So, of course, things aren't going to repeat exactly. I'm not expecting them to, but it is pretty crazy how these two major dips lined up perfectly with the previous ones. So that is something to consider. I do believe manipulation took advantage of this moment with Tesla announcing they wouldn't be accepting Bitcoin as payment. I do believe things will be picking up though. We do have to keep in mind we do have a lot of massive things coming. Just a few of these. We have Apple getting into cryptocurrency, Visa, MasterCard, Bitcoin ETF that could be approved by end of year from Fidelity. I do think that's very possible. We did have another $6 trillion spending budget announced. That could be a possibility, causing more inflation, which previous inflation is going to continue growing as well from all the printing that happened from the last year for coronavirus. More institutions are going to be buying Bitcoin, more mass adoption in general. So something Kevin O'Leary recently mentioned as well is institutions will begin piling into Bitcoin once we do come to a solution for the Bitcoin mining energy problem, the reason why Tesla stopped accepting Bitcoin as payment. This will help push the crypto space along as a whole, and then we will get an announcement of Tesla accepting Bitcoin as payment again. I do believe some other good announcements will be coming from Tesla and Elon Musk on cryptocurrency as well. So something I posted a couple hours ago that I do want to bring more awareness to is the pure scarcity of Bitcoin, which that alone I do believe can push Bitcoin over $100,000 by end of 2021. Not considering all the inflation, all the mass adoption, the companies, the institutions accumulating Bitcoin. So I did state I will never have less than one Bitcoin. If 50 million people wanted to do the same, Bitcoin would hit $1 million. If you understand this. So I'm aware that Bitcoin, there isn't even 50 million Bitcoin that exists, but that's exactly my point. If 50 million people wanted to own one Bitcoin, there isn't enough for all of them to do it, causing a massive spike of demand, while there isn't enough supply is what can push Bitcoin to $1 million eventually. So I do believe it will take the next Bitcoin halving to create that scarcity and really push Bitcoin over that $1 million mark. So the current market cap of Bitcoin being less than 1 trillion again, around 700 billion. So if we check the total supply, there's only 21 million Bitcoin that can ever exist. That's not considering all the Bitcoin that has been lost forever. Early on, people didn't understand the value of Bitcoin. They had their secret passphrase saved on their computer or written on paper. They just lost this, losing access to all that Bitcoin. So it is said that millions of Bitcoin are lost forever. Something like 5 to 8 million could be lost forever, just taken out of circulation basically. So considering that, and all the institutions on top of that are buying thousands of Bitcoin and accumulating as much as possible. How many people can actually own 1 Bitcoin each? I'm guessing is somewhere below 10 million. So keep in mind, this is not financial advice, just something interesting to think about. Anything could happen in the short term, like I always state. We do have regulations and tax laws coming into play in many different countries, which could cause temporary panic, as we've seen. So Elon Musk alone being able to crash the markets as it did, just from a couple tweets, we do have to remember how volatile this crypto space is. So in the short term, I'm never making predictions, but in the long term, I'm still bullish on cryptos. And I do think end of year, things are definitely going to be looking much better than they currently are. I'm definitely taking advantage of this accumulation phase. And I'll definitely be keeping you guys updated with daily crypto news and market updates. So that's it for today's video and market update. I hope you guys found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified for my daily updates. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.